Journey to radiance, 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 journey to radiance.
Blessings are now. Welcome. This is Journey to Radiance. Journey to Radiance offers you health and healing strategies, encouragement, and fellowship for your mind, body, soul, and spirit. Sometimes this journey gets tough, and you might need a guru that can help, encourage, and get you to where you need to be, the life you know to the life you want. When you stumble and fall, well, we got you. I'm your host, Wolfhawk Jaguar, and this is Journey to Radiance. Journey to Radiance, journey to the dream.
There will be neither rest nor tranquility in America until the Negro is granted his citizenship rights. The whirlwinds of revolt will continue to shake the foundation of our nation until the bright days of justice emerge. And that is something that I must say to my people who stands on the worn threshold whilst we lead, which leads into the palace of justice in the process of gaining our rightful place. We must not be guilty or wrongfully deeds. Let us not seek to satisfy our thirst for freedom by drinking from the cup of bitterness and hatred. I have a dream. Tina sitibene ngomseben zomhle. Sitibene ngomsebenzi omhle nangothando lukaThixo nangothando lukaThixo. Happy birthday, Dr. Martin Luther King from Mxolisi, from South Africa, the son of ANC, now to EFF. One love.
Blessings are now, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah,
Ashe.
it's that type of show today.
Yeah.
Celebrating Dr. Martin Luther King, Journey to Radiance. This is Journey to the Dream. I'm your host, Wolfhawk Jaguar, joined by the wonderful body whisperer, Dr. Phyllis Hubbard. Clap it up for that. You know, that's Dr. Phyllis
Blessings
Hubbard.
are
You know what I'm saying?
now. Woo.
And as you heard, my dear brother, all the way from Johannesburg, South Africa,
Yes.
by way of the Eastern Cape.
Ooh.
MXO, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to clap it up in here, and I want y'all to clap it up out there. This brother's story is not only amazing, but it's motivating, and it's the epitome of the dream. So we're going to just do a quick check-in real quick. Dr. Phyllis, how you feeling today?
I am feeling radiant. I am feeling blessed. I'm so excited to finally meet my brother, MXO, in person.
In person.
So, this is
Yeah,
an
it is.
exciting day.
It's an exciting day.
Exciting day.
We got him here.
Yes.
It's a hot day in Oakland, California.
Yes.
He just
Sunny
flew
day
in
in
from Los
California.
Angeles. He has a little stomach ache, but he's smiling. You know, that's a good thing. MXO, check in with us, my brother.
Hey, greetings to your family. We radiant as nature will give us understanding of appreciating and be grateful of living and giving thanks and praise. So thank you guys for inviting me to your wonderful podcast. And actually, for this to be possible, that I'm here in America is because of you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I managed to get a 10-year visa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's a beautiful story for another, it's, yeah.
Well, I mean,
Well,
since you brought it up, let's touch on
talk
that a
about
little
it,
bit.
yeah.
You know, for those that don't know, Journey to Radiance was very instrumental in putting together what ended up being an opportunity for you to come to America.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, they sponsored an amazing project called So Beautiful, which is a film and an album. You are one of the lead producers on that film and album.
Yes, sir.
That film was selected by the Silicon Valley African Film Festival to be showcased.
And actually touched that award.
Yeah,
was
we
there.
actually won awards at that film festival. But those wonderful brothers there, they wrote the letter.
Oh, yeah.
One of many letters that had been written on your behalf over the years, but for something magical about Journey to Radiant, the Silicon Valley African Film Festival, this time that letter was accepted and you were granted that 10-year visa.
It shows with the Journey to Radiance community. It's a community that believes in the universe, and they pray, and there's a lot of ashes in it. You know, because I've been trying to come here for the past maybe 3 times. I've been rejected.
Yeah.
Wow.
And with the opportunity of the movie, and it was so simple, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
He said, okay, sir. They didn't even ask me a lot of questions or see my papers of, am I legit or not?
Right.
Yeah, and I just got that visa. It was just a miracle. I couldn't even understand myself, but the spirit of the energies and the universe and synchronicity and alignment made it possible.
That's right.
So
That's
big up to you guys.
For those that don't live in America, and for those in America who aren't familiar with the process, it's a very difficult one for somebody, especially living in Africa, to come to America.
Yeah.
And, take us through that a little bit, the whole process, because I want you to start with when I told you that we're sending the paperwork, you told me I'm going to the village and I'm going to do some ceremony around it to cleanse and purify myself.
Oh, yes.
Talk to us a little bit about that whole spiritual process that took place before you came here. Yeah,
the immigration laws is starting to be a big thing in everywhere around the world now, especially people who are migrants are feeling not welcomed and feeling outcasted because of the locals and the people who are who are local. They feel like their jobs have been taken by other people who are coming from outside countries. Because when we come from other countries, we come hungry to make the dream.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so it becomes that catch-22 situation where we come for a dream, and people here are saying, "Hey, why?
We haven't got our dream yet."
Yeah, we haven't got our dream yet.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to specify that or make it balance with what the immigrants are doing. But I had to go to my home and go to my ancestors and ask for a way, to come to America, because it's always been a dream. I came for a dream too.
Yeah.
To expand my music and transcend the messages and spread the messages to, and do a cultural exchange with your people here. And so far so good. And I feel like one of you now. I feel like I've been adopted by the Auckland community.
How did you grow up in Mexo?
Growing up as a kid, it kind of was. I grew up in the 80s where the apartheid laws were really harsh. It was the iron fist ruling of the opposition and the minority of the Boers. And the Boers, they came and invaded, and they took over, and they designed for the mind of the Bantu stand of my people to not to catch up to natural prosperity. I grew up in a single parent household where it was 5 of us, and I had my mother was a sole earner, and we had to make means, but she didn't make us. She was protecting us so much that we didn't really.
You didn't even know you're poor.
Yeah,
or
we didn't
without.
know that we were poor. Yeah.
Yeah.
And because I think that's the beauty and of our queens. They make sure they protect us.
Clap it up for all the strong mothers out there.
That's what I'm
Put
saying.
Put some ginger on that, Dr.
That's
Phyllis.
what's
Clap it
up.
up for the strong
We
mothers
handle our
out there.
business. That's right.
But I remember, going out to the streets when I had an opportunity to sneak out. The reality was real. sneaking out for sure. Your mother was strict because she was a man and a woman at the same time, a single household. So I will sneak out, and then I'll see, a lot of I'll hear music by revolutionaries, and speaking to my older brothers, they will break it down for me. We call it mkhabulu. When the brothers, the big brothers, are giving you
some knowledge,
some knowledge, some game, and feeding
OGs
you.
are pulling you to the side. Look here, little brother.
OGs with the logs down to the ankle,
There it is.
Yeah, and OGs will break it down of what's going on there, and then you start realizing, oh man, we need to be united. So basically, I felt like I wanted to go and join the revolution and go to a training camp. And I tried to sneak in because there used to be vans that will come, but they're in a hurry. You have to jump into a van and then you go because, it can't be suspicious. Like they'll come in the evenings and stuff. So this other day, I remember, waiting there in a corner, everyone was sleeping at home. And, but damn dogs, they barked. And, and I was given a hiding there because they saw I was outside, trying to get into the car. And that's my memory. And the other memory, there used to be a camp of, white soldiers. The white soldiers were barely like kids coming from high school. Because they had to take them in conscription, joining the army. They had to be, because they're a minority in Africa.
So Africa. It was mandatory for them to join the army.
Oh, yeah, it was mandatory,
Yeah, so just to kind of rehatch what you're saying to give people a little bit of context. You grew up in an apartheid regime. For those that don't know, apartheid was the oppressive system of South Africa that was modeled after Jim Crow here in America. They believed in the isolation and separation of people based on racial identity and tribal identity.
Oh, yes.
So here in South Africa, a little bit different from America, so-called quote-unquote black people or people of color are the actual majority, where the minority was the Boers or the people of European descent. But they installed this system of oppression called apartheid, where they kept people apart, separated people, pitted people against each other. And here you are growing up in a household where you're not really aware of that. Your mother did a good job of bringing you up the right way and kind of sheltering you from the evils that was going on in the world.
Oh, yes.
But as a young, mischievous lad, you would sneak out on the street and OGs would kind of peep you to the game of what's really going on in the world. And then you decided, hey, nothing left to do but to join the revolution.
Oh, yeah.
And you tried to sneak your way in,
Oh, yeah. So, I'm part of the revolutionaries in South Africa. I believe in a pan-African mind state. I believe in the black consciousness of helping our community to stick together and bring prosperity to one another.
Yes.
And as I remember those days, I was even shot, by some of those kids who were maybe not really older than me, maybe 7 years older than me, but I think
they would shoot you with rubber bullets.
But rubber bullets, yeah. Because we will go there also in the afternoons, because they stay next to us. It's the first time we're seeing a white person, and now they have their own camp there, and they will throw sweets, and because we're young kids,
throw candies at you.
Candies, and we don't even know if those candies were poisoned.
Poisoned.
There was an opportunity to eliminate us also. So cut them whilst they still are still young. It was really a brutal time, and we give thanks. We made it through all those trials and tribulations, and now what we're dealing with our government since Nelson Mandela was freed from. We were all united then, because we were fighting for one cause.
Right.
But after we were free, so-called democracy was in. So there was the negotiations. Then the negotiations were. The white people were really scared.
Yeah.
Of thinking we're gonna rape them, we're gonna cannibalize them,
to the ocean.
And push them to the ocean. We're gonna eat them. We're gonna,
they were afraid that you were going to use the same mindset of torture and rape and violence against them that they had done against you.
Yes.
And also only what we wanted. We just wanted equal rights and justice.
Even after all of that.
Even after all of that.
The spirit.
Well, I want to put some ginger on that because, what you said is really powerful. The fear that what you did to someone, they will want to do to you. But in order for you to do that to someone else, you have to reduce your level of consciousness, right? You have to become that thing. And that's not who we are in our spirit. It's not who we've ever been.
So no amount of beating or torture or injustice would force us into that mindset.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely
point.
not. And on top of that, we then can, as we raise our level of consciousness, then school them on how to be, right? And so I think it's really important that you say that. And I think it's important that we say it as we try to shift the narrative, right? We're not trying to put ourselves in that mindset. When we're free, everybody's free.
Oh yes. So I mean, it's the same situation that is happening, which is you guys are a minority here in America. I'm talking about our kind, my people, the black people.
Not for long.
Nation.
Well, people of color will soon overtake the white majority in the U.S.
And that even in itself, people of color, as we know what happened with apartheid, when you say, well, how is this small number of people able to control such a large amount of people? And the psychological warfare of pitting brother against brother.
Yes.
You're Zulu, I'm Xhosa. You're Sutu, I'm Swana. We're not related. You're colored.
That's what the system managed to do.
That's what the system managed to do.
Divide and conquer.
Divide and conquer. Because now, as we study South Africa, we see that there is a high level of xenophobia, to where even a lot has been coming out lately of immigrants being attacked. And I know you spoke a lot about this on social media, really addressing your fellow brothers and sisters. Talk to us a little bit about that, what's going on the ground now, because I think a lot of it is a result of apartheid, would you say? That still same mentality of pitting me against my brother, making me think that my brother is taking something from me.
Yeah. What the government, the white ruled monopoly capital did, they managed to separate us in different tribals and group and in
townships
and townships. And that has made us know, you are different, although we are all black.
Right.
So, the mental slavery started from there. And right now, what's going on with the government, which is black-led after Nelson Mandela negotiated to have peace and tranquility and a smooth transition. And there was revolutionaries who didn't want to agree to the terms and conditions of us having a constitution of the old Boere movement. So people were saying, we want this constitution to be changed, these things to be changed. But Mandela wanted peace, so he passed. Because white people, remember, they still held the economy, so they had machines and my guns and everything.
The infrastructure was still controlled by the minority apartheid government.
Through health and everywhere, like health, biological warfare, education and everything, which is we're still like, although there's a black government that is ruling us, some people will say, actually, our infrastructure and our existence was much better when we were on apartheid.
When the Boers controlled us, we had better access to the infrastructure.
We had the better access.
Because now, and this is something that people say, well, if you wanted to be, quote unquote, a black ran thing, you're dealing with people that might not have the experience to run it, and stuff is breaking down. And this is some of the things they're putting forth. And I think that a lot of this is still part of the same mental slavery.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You've been to South Africa, how the mind works there.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
The entitlement and everything, it's that thing. So it has really spread like a cancer, to the youth. Hence, we need conscious movement and people. I mean, someone said, Mandela said, if the black government is treating you is treating you unfairly, you must do to them what you did to the apartheid government. So hence now there's a new group of young men, Julius Malema, who are the opposition. We're all born from the ANC, because remember, we're all together trying to fight the apartheid government.
Right.
So now ANC has been ruling this, and they've been messing around. They've been, stealing money for their own pockets and their own homes, and they forgot about the people who bled and fought and had a difficult time. So most of we still use some of the constitution of the white people. We haven't changed the
and that is a trend that we've seen.
Everywhere in Africa.
Everywhere in Africa.
Oh, yeah.
And so, you can almost predict what's going to be happening in South Africa just by studying what's happened in other African countries after quote-unquote independence. I know you mentioned Nelson Mandela, in his dream, and for those that don't know, Nelson Mandela was locked up for 29 years in prison on Robben Island. Tortured, isolated, every type of punishment you can imagine. When you go to South Africa, and if you get a chance to go to Cape Town, you can actually take a ferry ride out to Robben Island. Kind of like here in San Francisco, taking a trip out to Alcatraz.
Right, to Alcatraz.
And they'll show you where Nelson Mandela lived and where he worked at the quarry every day, chopping stones. But I say this to say that after 29 years of imprisonment, Nelson Mandela's dream was truth and reconciliation, and he believed that we can find peace through truth and reconciliation. So just a little South African history, he set up the truth and reconciliation hearings where he said, listen, all the apartheid government, all of you that worked out there to destroy African people, if you tell the truth about what you did, we can reconcile with you. And how do you feel about that? Because I know that, that was a very, and potentially something that has led to a lot of the problems. Unrest is that some people felt that, we weren't ready for truth and reconciliation.
We're killing us. This is not our original idea. If we want rehabilitation like the Jews had from the German times, because it's a process. It's not only like of sacrificing few poor whites to say, I'm sorry I did this. Now, the Oppenheimers, the guys who were in monopoly in business and everything, who were helping the regime of the apartheid, those guys were not on truth and reconciliation.
No.
So they only sacrificed their pawns.
And a lot of them still own the infrastructure
That's right.
of South Africa.
The land of South Africa is 90% still owned by white people. Oh, yeah.
Post-apartheid.
Post-apartheid. So the revolutionaries were saying, no, okay, if you want peace, we want our land back, we want equal rights, we want
Can we
justice.
get our land back?
Can we get our land back? Yeah.
Can we get our land back? And that's a theme that is really prominent in Southern Africa when you think about Zimbabwe, for instance, and what Robert Mugabe was really pushing for, that we can't have justice until we get our land back.
Yeah.
Because like you're saying, in South Africa, a country, I believe, if not number one, number two, wealthiest country in Africa, right?
Yeah.
To say that 90% of that land is owned by potentially 10 to 15% of the people, I think people can see where a problem is.
The problem is there. And then also, what is going on there? We need black men and black women who are more educated in economics and, who knows how to rebuild the country.
Yes, yes.
And people who belong to they have the social idea. And, commendable strategies to bring us back and for us to less suffer from the mindset that we were, poisoned in a viral apartheid state.
That's a long-term healing strategy.
Oh, yeah.
Long-term.
Very long-term healing strategy that needs to happen.
And now you see religious groups, or more Christianity is expanding more, and Christianity is still a European idea, and black preachers are coming and taking over also.
The mega churches are now moving to South Africa where you have huge ministers that are literally commanding, hundreds of thousands of people with the ideology that you feel is still oppressive.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So I mean, we need a prayer. A prayer is something that heals. But now, if you're having the religious groups that come to steal with the word, so I think people need to go back to their roots, and I don't know what we need to do, but we need to do something.
Well, checking in with the truest part of yourself and being led by that. If we're going to use a Christian concept, there's without a vision, people perish, right?
Oh yeah.
So what is the dream, the vision for South Africa? What would you say that is? And, we need to start exploring in what direction can we go, and then how can we connect Pan-African, across the waters to support you?
The dream I have is that dream of all Africans unite as one. We use one economy, and we cut the borders. And for sure, we still have, the migration, because, there's still bad apples in the same bag of all of us somehow. So we just need to be, find those people who are learned to be able to govern the people. Like from here, from South Africa to everywhere, from East and West Africa. So once we have that, our economy, because most of European countries and, your country, their wealth is from Africa.
Yes. Come on now.
Yes.
So
talk about it.
But now, once we get together and then we, with the same common goal, we can rediscover Africa. We can rediscover our wealth and our economy and everything once we are together. Yeah, but now we're just being manipulated by the system.
Yes.
And so the dream of Dr. Martin Luther King still lives on.
The journey. Journey to radiance, 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 journey to radiance. On a journey to radiance, the beauty is so evident. When you shape, shift, and form, break away from the norm. Higher levels of achievement, persistence is needed. A campaign for black male achievement, rooted in cultural relevance, opening the door for healing, flooding the mind with positive images. It's up to us to start loving us and really start believing. Black male reimagining the image of our greatness, building communities and taking ownership and knowing it's not about keeping score, but brothers coming together from shore to shore. It's sure the pain is the same. The game ain't gonna change until we become the change that we wanna see. I know we gonna win. Muhammad Ali, one is manifesting collective wealth. What a blessing guiding you on your journey to radiant health. Journey to radiance, 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 journey to radiance.
I know just who I am, who I aspire to be, healing, evolving through my creativity. When I am faced with the fear that tempts me to flee, I take the time to breathe, so I can clearly see that I was born with all the power to overcome challenges trying to prevent my progression. Outside influences have no effect, you see. Nothing will stop me from setting my spirit free.
Journey to radiance, journey to radiance, journey Journey to Radio.